Okay, in this video we're going to go over a nice little trick that you can use if you have a dog that's reactive to people that it doesn't know. This is Zuma, and we've laid out a trail of treats for Zuma, and this is Zuma's second time of doing this. So basically, go ahead, now we're going to transition and hold up right there, and let's grab our camera person to adjust the shot a little bit. There we go. So basically what we've done is we've let a trail of treats, and Zuma's already gotten these a couple times. And she's going to go ahead and keep on shooting him. If the dog doesn't get the treats, tap them. Sometimes the first time you have to pick them up for the dog, and you want to make sure these are treats your dog really likes. And I would recommend you practice this a couple times without anybody at the end of it. Now, in a second here, I'm gonna have you step on the grass if you could, and so you can shoot in this right over there, so you can shoot in this direction. So I'm sitting here, and you can see I'm seated with Zuma on my side. Front facing is confrontational to dogs, where front face is confrontational. Sideways is more approachable. Now, if Zuma wants to sniff the grass or do anything else, that's fine. Now, the guest should be here positioned like this, probably more at this sort of an angle. And we also want to be careful. If there's a trash truck or beeping or construction, leaf blowers, we don't want to do that. Go back inside, wait for that to pass. That's going to make it more difficult. And if he wants to sniff the ground, that's what we're looking for. The scratching of the grass like that, that's not what we're looking for, but that's okay if he does that. So basically what we want the dog to do is have this treat trail that leads him up to the person, and the treats are going to be there. Now when Zuma gets the person should just be static like I am. Now, Zuma already knows me. We already spent most of the time in the session. Basically, what's going to happen, and I'm going to show you a little distraction right here. We have somebody walking up behind Zuma, so I'm going to say, find it. Find it. Yeah. So we prevented him from, that would have startled Zuma. He would have normally barked. Now, I'm combining two things. So this is the video for people who are coming over. So they should be facing kind of this direction. They should have some high value treats, and the treat trail leads all the way up here. I usually have a small pile right here. And then basically we're gonna let Zuma approach. When Zuma comes to sniff the person should avoid trying to reach over and pet Zuma. They should just remain passive, no movements, don't try to talk to the dog, definitely don't add any eye contact. And then basically we want Zuma to come up and approach and hopefully give the person some sniffs. Now, if the person has a couple treats, or if Zuma wants to groom himself or go to the bathroom like he is right there, that's an indication he feels pretty comfortable. Sometimes I'll take a treat like this, and I'll put one right here. Zuma, now I'm calling him, this would be the handlers calling him. There's one right there, and I'll put one right there on my leg, and Zuma can come over and grab it on his own. And if it knocks off, don't reach for it, let the dog get it. Eventually, then I held the treat out like this to the side. I'm not looking at the dog, I'm leaving my hand here, and watch, Zuma's gonna go back to that same hand even though it's empty, because that's where he got a great treat. And now you wanna give a cat 3, 5, 7 treats until Zuma's pretty comfortable. Then you would kind of go like this and say, sit, yes. If Zuma sits, great. If Zuma moves away and sits, that's great too. Say yes when you give the treat, if they're the guest. And then, and if he won't take the treats, that's fine. If he stops there and that's as close as he's gonna get, that's okay. Call him away, and then what we're gonna do is, before I stand up, I'm gonna kind of throw a treat away, and I'm gonna rock myself into this position. Then I'm gonna throw another treat away. This is good for your quads. But I don't want to just stand up. Standing up abruptly might be too much for Zuma. So what I wanted to do is I want to stand up in kind of a gradual, progressive way. Now, Zuma is not a big fan. We have the freeway right over here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cross the street, and as the guest, I'm going to have some treats, and if Zuma's following me, just go ahead and give him a treat. Make sure we don't get hit. There we go. And I'm going to have you go down the driveway if you could, and we'll go this way. You and I, go ahead and go that way. Nope, you and I are gonna go this way. Yep, I'm just trying to block the shot, as they say. And then we're gonna go for a little bit of a mini walk. Now, see, Zuma's checking me out. This is probably a little bit more than, and this is a great another example. So it's gonna come over here. So we have somebody coming by, Zuma. So we went over a find it inside. So the person's coming, it's gonna spook Zuma. So I'm gonna say, find it. He gets that one. Zuma, find it. Find it? Yes. 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 Find it? Yes. So the find it cue is a great way to redirect your dog's attention, because we can lead him away from the street. Anytime your dog's reactive or you think it's going to be reactive, the best thing you do is increase the distance yourself so you manage the situation so the dog does not have to. Now, I'd like you to practice the find it's like this when there's nobody around. So that way when you do it, if you only do it when people are around, he's going to snap his head around saying, there's got to be somebody coming up from behind me. Now, let me see. You can also use your environment. Yes. Let's say that we're kind of trapped or we don't have treats. If there was a car parked right here, I'm going to have you walk back to that point right there. And let's say that you have somebody walking down the street. Well, actually, we have somebody else walking by. So we'll do another find it real quick. Now, if he's sniffing, that's okay, and be ready. And find it. Normally, he would have probably freaked out at that, right? And running especially. But he likes these treats. Find it. And sniffing is a displacement behavior. It's also what they normally do. So let's say that you are walking by, and let's say there's a car parked right here, and I'm walking by here. You could walk, time it out. So if the car, like the back of the car is right here, you could walk, and be careful with the street, but you could walk in the street. So now Zuma's over there. He can't see me, and we're using the car as a visual blocker. Now, it's not ideal. In other situations, you might just walk down the driveway or where the camera is and increase the distance yourself. The more that you manage the situation, the less that he has to do so. Now, the last little thing we want to do, and I should have been doing this when we had somebody walking by, but oh, we have somebody over here. So let's go. Oh, there's a dog over here. We'll do that right here. Now, I'm going to use the clicker for this. Can you come right over here so you can actually be on this angle and see the person? This is something called the engage-disengage game. Hey, Zuma. There's a doggy over there. There's a doggy over here. What about that dog? Yes. Actually, I didn't need to say yes. So this is called the engage-disengage game. So when he looks at the dog, I click, and I like using a clicker outside for this sort of thing because it's more distinct. So at first he looks, but when the person was there, so if he looks, let's say he's looking over here. So he looks at the person over there. I click when he looks, but what is he going to do? He's going to turn away from what he's looking at to get the treat. So this is called, first we're rewarding him for engaging with the environment or whatever it is, but then after a while what happens, he'll look at the thing and automatically turn away from you after you've practiced a lot. Then we're going to mark him turning away from the thing and then give him a treat for doing that. So at first we're rewarding him for simply looking at a person or whatever the boogeyman is. And then after enough repetition, he's going to automatically, because he's done it so many times, turn away. Then we're clicking to let him know that turning away from something is what we like, and then you're going to reward. And if they're getting too close to you, you're increasing the distance. Here we go. So we'll have, well, no, she's going in there. I thought we had a person coming by. But so I don't want to make this video too long, but I think you guys understand. So the first part of this will be for your guests to watch. But when you guys are on walks, have that clicker. And if you have a piece of electronics like this, having something like this, so you can kind of have be hands-free, and I can always get it up pretty quickly to give the dog a click. And I would also recommend getting a treat pouch like this. So you're just going to go through a lot of treats. And if you do, you'll feed him a little bit less kibble. All right, Zuma, come here, buddy. Find it. We got to sign off, and people got to see who you are. This is my buddy Zuma, and these are some tips that you can use if you have a dog that's a little bit fearful and reactive to people out on walks.